You don't need to worry about the waiting. Hang up. So. If you want to, you can take a seat there. Then I will call you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Happy Tuesday and welcome to Coffee Hour. I'm Harjot Bhatia and today is our third and last Hispanic Heritage Month presentation with Land of Eternal Springs, Ecuador. Please stay until the end. Today we will have opportunity to learn a few Ecuadorian phrases in Spanish that we can all practice around the Fresno. Now I'm going to pass the mic to Marcela for some announcements.
Welcome everyone. I just want to say hi. I'm today. I'm just happy to see all of you. I see that those returning community members and new students. So thank you for coming and supporting Mateo today. I could see that there is a really good presence here, and I'm gonna turn the camera in a little bit so the audience in Zoom are able to see you as well, and you're able to see who's in the Zoom, because we do have more than 50 people in Zoom. So thank you for coming and supporting Coffee Hour, and today is going to be a great presentation.
It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today and welcome him to Fresno State. This is his first semester in the Fresno State. He's also a volunteer for Coffee Hour and help us take great pictures. Mateo has always been involved during his short time with us, and he's also part of Bulldog Global Program. He's going to take us a virtual tour to the Ecuador. Please welcome Mateo.
Okay, welcome everyone to Coffee Hour. My name is Mateo, as presented. I am a new student at Fresno State. This is my first semester here. I am studying computer science. And well, a curious fact about me is that I'm just 17 years old and I am already in college. So many people impressed about like, why are you here? Like, how do you came here like so young? Did your parents like, how do they feel? Well, I'm here and I am excited to involve in Fresno State. Now that I have the opportunity to share about my country, I am going to do that with a lot of pride, you know. Well, I have prepared this presentation for you with all the love in the world, a love for my country. So I hope you enjoy it. I don't know if like the people can help me like the lights, please. Okay, thank you. So welcome again to International Coffee Hour. Now we are going to talk about Ecuador. Well, do you know where is Ecuador? Where is Ecuador? Does anybody know where is Ecuador? Yeah, South America, very good. We are located here in South America, in that region, next to Colombia, Peru, near Brazil. We're a very small country, as you can see. Well, you have to know that Ecuador means equator. In Spanish, the equator line is called Ecuador. So yeah, that's the name that comes, that's where the names come from. So yeah, it's interesting to know about like the history, but you may ask like, many countries pass through the equator line. So why equator is called like Ecuador line? Why not other countries? And well, we have like some history here about that. That's related with the geodesic French mission. Laconda mine, this guy over here, came to Ecuador in the 18th century and discovered like that Ecuador is in the middle of the world. All the analyses were done here. So yeah, we established, we have a monument here. Like in Ecuador, you can pass through this line from the north to south. With experiments done, we have like one that's too like fun, like its impression. You can't put an egg over a steel nail, and they won't. They will stay like here, like in the picture, and that's because of you know, like the magnetic things and things like that. But it is curious, and well, you can be in both sides of the world at the same time, like these are here. You're in both sides of the world. It's curious, and yeah. Well, now that we entered in history topic, I'm going to continue like with history. Like the cultures in Ecuador, like the oldest we have is like from the year 3500 before Christ, and it's the Valdivia culture. And well, this is the actual Ecuador map. Like the cultures, like the native cultures of Ecuador, they are different. Like in the Amazonas on your right, the Valdivia that's in like the coast to the left, and many cultures. The Valdivia is the most important because that is where we have like the representation of women, the fertility of women. And these figures over there represent the fertility of women. And that's like the most representative native culture of Ecuador, like extinct culture, like the history. Then after this, we have the Incas influence in Ecuador. Incas conquer us, all the cultures, and we have like all their influence, like oil with Peru, Chile, Bolivia, as you can see here in the map. And we have like the adoration of the sun, and that influences that you can see like nowadays in different seasons. And yeah, this monument here was an Inca monument that you can find in Ecuador. And it is like interesting to see. Here is like a little bit bigger. The Incas built these monuments to adore the sun, and it's so perfect. The construction is so perfect that one could think like, what is happening here? Like, how did I do that? You can't put a paper between the stone. It's like, it's perfect. They fit perfectly, and nobody knows how. So it's a lot of, it's interesting. Well, continuing with history, you know that to Latin America, the Spanish came. To Ecuador, they arrived in 1532. All of Ecuador, like we call Ecuador, actually was like the Real Audiencia de Quito. Was like the territory of Spain that that was like this part of Ecuador, a little bit of Colombia, a little bit of actual Brazil. Then you can see the line that then we gave like a little bit to Brazil, and well, some historic facts, you know. All the Spanish influence made a lot of this colonial period was miscegenation of races, a mix of races. We have a lot of Spanish architecture. This is a famous church in Quito. That's the capital of Ecuador, where I am from. You can see a lot of Spanish architecture, and yeah, and it's beautiful to see that. And well, this time of period finishes with the Pichincha battle that was in Quito, where we fight and we get our independence from Spain. But well, here is interesting. Have you ever seen this flag before? It's similar to some other country or something like that. If anybody knows to answer that, it's similar to another country that you maybe have seen or no? Yeah, I will explain that later. Yeah. In the Zoom, you can answer too, like which flag, like, because we have like, this is like a flag from another country too. Maybe if you know about Latin America, do you know? You can open your microphone if you want. No? Well, continuing with history, this is similar to Colombia. When people say like, when sees like the flag of Ecuador, says, are you from Colombia? And he says, no, I'm from Ecuador. And he says, why? You have similar flags. And yeah, that's right. Simon Bolivar, as you mentioned, was like the independence promoter in like that part of Latin America. We have like Venezuela, Colombia, and Ecuador. He achieved the independence of that three countries. And well, after the independence, we merged in a unique country that was the Great Colombia, the Grand Colombia. That was that country, that was one country. This country lasted from 1822 to 1830. In 1830, we separated from that. Venezuela separated to the other side, Colombia to the other side, and well, they made independence countries. So yeah, this is the flag of Ecuador. And we have like a similarity with Colombia to the right and Venezuela to the left. And yeah, that's like we can see here that we can remember that we have merged. We were a unique country before. We have a monument to remembering Simon Bolivar in Guayaquil. That's a city of Ecuador, and that's over there. And yeah, he met with the independence promoter of the south, the southern part. That's another guy that they're there, and well, they are greeting each other. Well, now after talking about history, I would like to let's know more about Ecuador. Well, like the symbols of Ecuador, we have our flag. later, you can take a look. We have like the flag over there. We will take a picture over here. So yeah, that will be super cool. We have our seal. This is our seal, and it has a lot of meanings. This is the Andean condor, is the bird, the national bird of Ecuador. This is the Chimborazo mountain. Remember Chimborazo mountain? I will explain that later. It's important too. We have the sun, remember, taking into account that we are like in the middle of the world, that the Incas adored the sun, so there is the sun. And yeah, that's it. And a curious fact is that you can find the Andean condor in the Fresno Zoo. So if someday you go there, yeah, you can see it and you remember Ecuador. Yeah, there's the Andean condor. So yeah. Well, the size of Ecuador. You can see there's the California and there's Ecuador. So it's a small, not too small, but it's a small, yeah. California is a little bit bigger. I didn't want to say numbers because it's something that's not too necessary. But yeah, you can imagine like with just a picture, like what's that comparison we can make. Well, something before coming here. In a small country, you can think like, well, it could be a small, it could be something like similar everywhere, but that's not the case here. Despite Ecuador is a small country compared to other, we are too diverse, and that's something that I am proud of. Ecuador has a lot of diversity, even more than the whole US. So that's like, wow. Yeah. Well, taking into consideration this, well, our language, the official language is the Spanish, Español. But in 2008, the new constitution of the country recognized that we have 14 native languages that are spoken. They are not official, but the country like make the compromise to protect them and to promote them to avoid their extinction. And yeah, that's about like the cultures we have in the different regions of Ecuador. So yeah, these are cultures over there. Another fact, we are going to talk about the currency. When we have the Gran Colombia and a couple of years like later, we have like the real. That's the currency in your left. Then after like the foundation of Ecuador, after all of that, we have the sucre. That was the national currency. In fact, I have a sucre here. This lasted until 2000. If you can take a look. This lasted until 2000, and then we changed to the US dollar. And this was because we had a serious economical crisis, and the government decided we need to stabilize this, we need to change to US dollar. If not, I don't know what will happen there. But yeah, a curious fact that I was finding is that, well, we use the US dollar, but the US give us like they make coins here and they give us. And there are some coins that they aren't like circulating in the US, but they are. For example, the presidential coins, these dollar coins, these Sacagawea dollar coins, the half dollars. Well, the quarters are common. Yeah, there are two like quarters that were like from the 1970s, 1960s. We have that coins in circulation in Ecuador. So yeah. In the 2000, when we decided to change from sucres to dollars, we wanted to make like, well, that's our currency make like be equivalent to the dollar. And we created these coins that has the same value as dollar in Ecuador, like with the objective of preserving that, you know, that image of our presidents and things like that. They are in circulation, but they are not so common. But yeah, they have the same value as the US dollar. So yeah, it's like just to know that. Yeah, and the US dollar is our present currency. now we are going to talk about the government. Well, we are a democratic country. Our president, we had a new president this May. That's the guy over in the left. His name is Guillermo Lasso. And yeah, something that that is different in Ecuador than other countries is that, well, you know, there are the three classical powers: executive, legislative, judicial. But we have two more in Ecuador. Well, and they are these guys. The executive is the president. The legislative is the assembly in Ecuador. There are like 146 representing, you know, the different towns, cities, and they debate about creating new laws and things like that. The judicial, well, where they judge your crimes. But the two more that we have is the electoral, like the elections, that is in charge of preserving democratic elections. They are in charge of all of that. And the other in the left is like the control power. Yeah. They are in charge of avoiding corruption and things like that in Ecuador. However, it has been criticized in the last years because there hasn't been like a specific function and there has been corruption. So it's like, what are they doing? They want to change that. They are like debating if to eliminate this power or not. Like, yeah, it's a political conflict, inside conflicts, you know, that every country has. So yeah. Continuing with the government, we have 24 provinces that we can compare with the states. Well, it's like the same. Yeah, we are a decentralized power that is similar to the federal government like in the US, but it's not the same. The centralized and federal are two different things in the fact that the government in Ecuador makes these laws. All the country has to follow those laws. The provinces can't change that, but each province is in charge of making their own like ways. They making their own. They are in charge of coordinating their own transportation, their own highways, their own things like that. So yeah, that's a way like to avoid like just power in just the president. So we have like the mayors have a lot of importance in each city in Ecuador. Our economy, well, Ecuador is a petroleum-based economy. We export a lot of petroleum to all the world. And yeah, this was like, in fact, this was like one of our disadvantages in the 2000s. And the petroleum prices went underground and we were living from a war and things like that. And we didn't have like where to have more income as a country. So it was like, that was like a lot of crisis there. So then we decided like to promote to do more than petroleum. And we are in that process of changing into whatever else, because as we know, we can't be based in petroleum all the life. We are seeing that change of electric things and yeah, so we export bananas. The US is the main buyer of bananas in Ecuador. So if someday you see bananas of Ecuador, please tell me. We export also flowers. The US is also the main buyer of flowers. And I think that of Ecuador, and yeah, we have also export tuna, shrimp, cacao, and yeah. This brand over here in your right is the most expensive brand of cacao in Ecuador. And well, I think that I am sure that you know like the Switzerland chocolate, and they make great chocolate, but they obtain the cacao from Ecuador. So really the guys who have the best chocolate in the world is Ecuador, because that is where cacao comes from. So yeah, this brand, you can find it I think that in Walmart. So yeah, it will be great that you eat it. We have these red bananas that are sweet bananas that has like a mix of strawberry flavor or something like that. It's and are natural, so they have that, and it's interesting to see that. And yeah, and that's all about the facts here. We have now, as the introduction video, Ecuador is 4 words. It's not a country. When we describe about diversity, it's not just I can't describe like, oh, the culture of Ecuador is this one, of the food of Ecuador is this one. No, you have to describe it related to each region of Ecuador. We have 4 words, 4 different words. Despite we are a small country, we have a lot of diversity, as I said before. So yeah, I'm proud of that. This diversity comes from the climate. We have the Andean mountains crossing, and this makes that you can see we have things rainforests to deserts to dry to a lot of cold. We have a lot of everything. Yeah, so we have this note here that Ecuador doesn't have seasons, so there's no spring, no fall, not like a summer, not winter. It's just like a dry and a wet period of time, and that's depending. Yeah, that's because we are like in the equator, like in the middle, so there are no seasons. We have every day we have 12 hours daylight, and so yeah, there's no difference in that. So yeah, that's curious because now I am living my first fall in my life. I have never seen like the leaves falling and things like that. So I feel excited about that now that we are in that season. Well, we have to talk about like the regions, as I told before, the coast that is in the left side of Ecuador. It's like, well, coast is synonym of beaches, of vacation, things like that. If you like to surf, if you like to go to the sun and enjoy the sea, yeah, it's the perfect region for you. You can see from May to September, I think, the humpback whale that comes from north to the south because it's hotter in Ecuador in that season. So yeah, you can see them. And yeah, it's cool that. This is the banana, I could say, is you write a banana because it's a banana in fact. So yeah, so yeah, and you go to the sea and yeah, you turn around and you fall into the water and it's too fun. Yeah, you can enjoy that. It's my favorite, so that's the reason what I put it here. Here are some pictures. This is my family in the right. We are in the beach. This is a river in the coast. We have this manglar, and yeah, this is Guayaquil. This is a city in Ecuador in the coast. This is the main city in the coast. So yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, as a curious fact, we are small, but the fact that we are in the mountains, when we are in the highways, well, there are not highways, but you have to like turn around like descending that mountains. So getting to the beach that is small, like you have to take a ride of 5 hours. So it looks far, but geographically it's not, but it's because of we have to like trespass that mountains were there. So yeah, and yeah, as I mentioned before, we have Guayaquil as the main city in the coast. It is the biggest in Ecuador and it's the most populated, but it's not the capital. So yeah, that's a curious fact too, because it's common that the most populated and the biggest city is the capital of a country, but no, this is not the case. Continuing, we have the mountain range, the Andes, where I came from. As you see this map, we have the Andean mountains here, and this is like the main thing that makes like our climate or diversity, because we have all that hills. This is a view from the plane, from a plane. You can see this is like the avenue of volcanoes. You can see that all the Andes is like most volcanoes, and you can see like one over here, one over here, one over here, one over here. There are a lot. You can hike a mountain, and as this guy over here. And well, the capital, this is Quito, where I come from. And yeah, there's a view, and yeah, do you have a volcano next to you? Yeah. it's very cool. You also have lakes over the mountains. You have lakes, a lot of things like that. So yeah, the mountain range is like if you are a hiking enjoyer, a cold enjoy, and you like to that weather and things like that. Here is a picture. Here's my family. This is another town like Quito, but this is smaller. And yeah, and you have another volcano here. You can go hiking. This is snow. This is my father in a lake.
Are these volcanoes active or not?
Yeah, and these volcanoes, some are active, some are not. In fact, we have 5 years ago, or 5, 7, a lot of panic because there was like an active volcano, it was eruption, making eruption, things like that. But well, it now is asleep, I could say. So yeah, well, this is a view from the highway. You can see like lakes, you can see mountains, you can see things like that. Yeah, it's a lot of it's a show. Like you have a lot of landscapes to see while driving. Yeah. Which is the highest mountain in the world? Who knows? The Everest? Yes and not. Yeah, the Everest is the highest mountain in the world, taking into consideration that level from the sea, but taking from the center of the earth, the Chimborazo, that was the mountain in the seal of Ecuador, is the highest. And why? Because, well, here is a comparison. Ecuador is nearest from the sun, is furthest from the earth center. And yeah, if we compare that, Chimborazo is the highest point in the world, and is the nearest point from the sun. So that's the nearest point to sun in the earth. Here's the top of Chimborazo. So here you will be like the nearest possible point in earth to the sun. So yeah, that's cool too. Now I want to focus a little bit in Quito. That's the city where I was born. That's the capital too. As I mentioned before, we have a lot of colonial influence there. And that was the center of all the economic activities there and things like that. So that's the reason why it's the capital of Ecuador. We have this church over here, and all of this is gold. That is gold that we got here, and Spain built that churches with gold. So yeah, they say that it is the most beautiful church in the world after the Vatican, because of that. We have this church over here. That is San Francisco Church. It's a common church here. Yeah, and a curious fact is that we were the first city in the world declared first cultural heritage of humanity by UNESCO in 1978. We were the first city declared as that, and yeah, that's because of these churches and all that influence. We have the most preserved center, the most preserved culture, architecture conserved in the world. So yeah, it's the most beautiful, and that's why UNESCO calls that to Ecuador. It's the second city in the world with the most number of churches per square foot after the Vatican. You can find a church each block. mainly in this area, that's the center of the city where have the colonial influence. So yeah, that's cool. It's the second highest capital in the world after La Paz, Bolivia. The height of Quito is 9350 feet, so that's pretty high. when people from other countries go to Ecuador, sometimes they suffer from the height sickness. So yeah, it's because you aren't used to a little of air and oxygen. But yeah, that's it. We also find here pictures of Quito. We have this church. You can see the architecture as near as seeing this column here, and you can analyze that architecture, and it's pretty beautiful. We have, again, the middle of the world monument here, and yeah, you are in the north, the south, the north, the south, yeah. We have this cable car that is in Quito. You get a cable car, and you can go up and see the city like here. So this is highest than the city, and you can see all the city and all the mountains. You can see over there all the volcanoes that I mentioned, like in the plane. You can see all of that, and it's pretty beautiful. And here's a picture of my brother, my little brother, in the train of Ecuador. Yeah, this train crosses through all that volcanoes, and yeah, that's beautiful too. That's the main attractions of the people. We have also this picture over one church. You can see the architecture, you can analyze it. And we have this monument of Mary Virgin. We are Catholic, we are two Catholics, so we have that influence too, a lot in Ecuador and in Quito. Well, and did you know the wedding of the famous Victoria's Secret model Jasmine Tux just were in Quito this September? And yeah, it was because of the beauty of all the churches and things like that. Here is all the gold I mentioned before, and yeah, that make us feel like proud of Ecuador too. Yeah. Well, now the Amazonas, the other part. The Amazonas is like the Amazonas, all or like rainforest, a lot of rivers, a lot of animals there. This is a native culture there. And yeah, you can visit them, you can learn about them. And we have this pink dolphin over here. That's pretty cool. Yeah, these are like pools, like hot pools, but that the water comes from the volcanoes. So yeah, and they are hot because of the temperature of the volcano. So it's all natural. It makes good for your health. So yeah. And this is the Napo River that goes directly to the Amazon River. That's the biggest in the world, as you may know. So yeah, if you go straight, someday you will be in the Amazonas River. Yeah, thanks to the Amazonas, we are the top 5 country in the world in biodiversity. So as I told you, we are a small country, but we have a lot of diversity. Here is a map of diversity. The red zones are the most diverse. Here is the Amazonas, here is the mountains, and here is the beaches. And yeah, these are Guaranis. This is a native culture over there. Well, these are like more modern Guaranis because you know, they have like communication with society. But there are some towns, some tribus that have never been in communication with the society in general. We know their existence. There have been missions to like, you know, like, hey, we exist, like, and people have been killed for that because they don't want to know about anything. They live as they live, and yeah. Galapagos. Galapagos, well, it's curious that people have heard about Galapagos, but they don't know that Ecuador owns a Galapagos Island. Here we have a lot of diversity too. We have a lot of animals. These seals over here, these giant tortoise. You can dive in Galapagos. Yeah, and they are islands that they were created because of the eruptions of volcanoes underwater. So yeah, something curious about Galapagos is that there is like no native people in Galapagos because, as I told you, that you know, it's in the middle of the sea, and yeah. However, well, there were like, here happens the Charles Darwin theory of evolution was thanks to Galapagos Islands. Here, these birds were like the protagonists of this history because Darwin looked that they have different, how do I say it? Well, this different part of the bird. And yeah, they are the same species, but they change this because depending of their food. So yeah, that's good too. And yeah, as I told before, Galapagos, we are lucky to have Galapagos Islands as ours because Galapagos Island was land of nobody. It was like it just was there, and was in 1830 when the first president of Ecuador said, "Galapagos, nobody is in Galapagos, nobody goes there." So, well, Galapagos will be ours from now. So yeah, and he was a smart guy because yeah, we have a lot of diversity here. We have a lot to do that. Yeah, well, before coming into astronomy, now that you understand that there are four regions, four worlds, four, as you may call it, yeah, we can like focus on that because as I told you before, I can say, oh, this is the star dish from Ecuador. No, it's like each region has their dish, each region has their culture because of that diversity, because of that change, because of all of that. Yeah, so now taking into account that, we have this astronomy here. Well, from the coast, we have encebollado and ceviche. This encebollado is like a soup made in base of onion. And some people may say that, no, that sounds ugly. I don't want to eat that. But in fact, it's delicious. You must have to try that if you go to Ecuador. In fact, I could say that this is the star dish from Ecuador because you eat it everywhere in all the regions. And yeah, it's like with fish, you know, with yuca, that's similar to potato, but it's not the same. And yeah, we also have ceviche. That's not equal to Peruvian ceviche. It's different. We have like shrimp here. It's acid, a little bit acid. And yeah, it's more like a soup too. Well, now from the mountain range, we have hornado. Hornado in English is like baked. Like this is like the baked pork. So yeah, that's why it's called hornado. We have corn, we have potatoes, we have avocado, we have a lot of this. And well, some people know Ecuador because of someone asked me when I was here, like, it is true that you eat guinea pig? And yeah, it is true. Well, not true at all, because it's not the guinea pig, as you know, like as pets. We also have those pets in Ecuador. It's like it's like similar. It's a similar species of guinea pig. It's also a guinea pig, but it's not the same as you have as pets. So yeah, that is good to know. we wanted your pets. Yeah, it is baked. We have these potatoes, you know, things like that. In the Andean region, you always find potatoes because they grow in the cold. So yeah, in every dish, potato, because that's the most, that's what we have. Yeah, from the Amazonas, we have this maito, that is a fish from the river. It's yeah, and you make it like in high temperatures. You make with this yuca, and yeah, and this is you have these chantacuros that are worms. Yeah, I have never had them, but I just bought it because it's the most representative of the Amazonas. And nobody of my family have had that, but yeah, most of people do, and they say that they are delicious, but who knows? Me not. Oh, here we have. Well, what else will we have here? Okay, the important holidays in Ecuador. We have Carnival. We have a lot of flowers here because, as I said, we produce a lot of flowers. We play with water that is not eco-friendly, but we do that. We also play with foam, with soap foam. So yeah, it is cool that. In Easter, as I said before, we have a lot of Catholic Spain influence in Ecuador. So yeah, in Easter, it's not that you don't look for an egg, you don't make an scavenger hunt, but it's more like people make sacrifices because of their sins. And well, these people here are called, I forgot the name, but well, they make sacrifices. They go without shoes, walking through, stones and things like that. They cherish like a cross as Jesus in their back to show that sacrifice. And yeah, it's show of their sins. Yeah, we have also the arrastre de caudas. It doesn't have a translation in English. I looked for it, but it doesn't have. It's like it was an ancient Catholic celebration in all Europe and things like that. And now Ecuador is the only country, and Quito is the only place where this happens. That it's also a Catholic tradition over there. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, the Day of the Dead, we have a kind of similarity than Mexico, but not at all. Indigenous people in Ecuador, native people, goes to the cemetery and they visit their family. They give them food. They eat together to remember that they are there too. But the most common, if in all the country, is that you eat guagua de pan, and this drink is colada morada. This represents the blood of the dead, and this represents, like the people. And yeah, it is a tradition in my family, at least, that we make, we write all our names and we share together. So here are the names of all of my family members, including my pet. So yeah, it is delicious. I will miss that because that's in November, and I don't think I will find it, but yeah. Continuing with that, we don't celebrate like the new year, we celebrate the old year. On December 31st, you will find a lot of, I could say like that, characters of famous movies or politicians or that happened in that year, like that represent what happened in that year. And yeah, in fact, well, this was before the pandemic in 2020, December, 2018, we bought this Captain of America with my family. And yeah, the curious fact is that what do you do with this? Well, you burn it. At midnight, you burn them in the street, and then that's it. So we have a video here, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, we burn them. Okay, what happened? Well, we burn them, and well, we jump over it to, to say that, well, all the bad things will be here, will burn, and will never happen again this year. And yeah, it's a representation of that. Yeah, that's it. Well, this video, I don't know what happened, but well. The art comes, well, you can listen to the music. The music has a lot of Andean and a lot of, representation of the Andes, of the culture of the Andes, of the mountains. In the colonial time, we had this, I think that we are not sharing sound. Okay. Yeah, now we are sharing sound. We have all of these influence of the Andes. They represent a lot of mountains. This is a sculpture The news people of Ecuador. Well, as a small country, we don't have like two famous people like singers and things like that. Well, more we have, but US doesn't know them because they sing in Spanish. So yeah. The most representative, this guy over here, Osvaldo Yasamin, that is the author of the paintings that you saw in the slide before. His art is so famous and it represents a lot of the Latin America culture that his paintings, if I'm not wrong, were someday in the New York Museum of Art. So yeah, it's very important it's a very important representative of Ecuador. We have Jefferson Perez, that is an athlete that won the first gold medal for Ecuador in the history in Olympic Games, and is the guy in the middle. So yeah, very proud in that. It was in the 1990, if I'm not wrong. We also have Ivan Vallejo. Ivan Vallejo has a very interesting history behind him. He was the first Ecuadorian who achieved the top of the Everest, and yeah, so that is cool about him. But the most interesting fact about that is that he went there without oxygen. So he went to the top without oxygen. So yeah, it's wow. Yeah. Well, the last one, that's the most recently, Richard Carapaz. He won the second medal, Olympic gold medal from Ecuador. It happened in these Olympic Games. He also won the Giro d'Italia. He has also had great participations in Tour de France and things like that these last years. So we are very proud of him. And yeah, and that's like the most famous people from Ecuador that I could mention and that everybody like has like knowledge about in all the world. So yeah. How are we with time? Because we have the phrases in Spanish.
Let's do Q&A first.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, and this is like the presentation of Ecuador, in fact. And before continuing, because we have another section here, I will open myself to questions. Does anybody have questions? Okay, we have the microphone. Yeah,
I just want to say a few things before you go on, Mateo. I want to acknowledge Mr. Juan Miguel Nunez, your father, for joining our coffee hour today. And let us
Dr. Lam, can you wait a minute?
Recognize him. And if you
too.
can see that his father actually came with him, and in the picture, and that is the father. And I want to let you know that today what I learned about Ecuador, the best thing about Ecuador is Mateo Nunez. He is the best. Because if you think about a high school graduate coming fresh from Ecuador in August, and it's October, he is presenting about his country. What an ambassador, what a leader. What a smart and professional presentation. And I want anyone in this group, if you are coming to today's International Coffee Hour because of Mateo, please give me a thumb up. I think we have a lot of people joining from Ecuador because it's not, the country is not good without the people. And the important thing for us to know about our country is know the people from that country. And Mateo, you give me a very glamorous understanding of the young, talented people from Ecuador. Thank you, Mateo.
Solamente rápidamente, si el papá de Mateo entendió lo que dijo la directora Dr. Lam, nomás le quiso agradecer que tiene un gran hijo y que estamos muy orgullosas de Mateo por todo lo que está haciendo aquí en Fresno State, siendo su primer semestre aquí, ya está representando a su país. Entonces, brevemente solamente le quería decir lo que la señora dijo de su hijo para que usted esté muy orgulloso sobre él. Okay.
Wow.
Gracias. Thank you, Dr. Lam. Any questions or comments for Mateo?
Yeah, I have two questions. First, what is the population of Ecuador?
Population is about 17, 18 million people. We have made the census recently, but not so recently, but yeah, it's about 17, 18 million people. Yeah, we don't have.
The second question was it in Ecuador that an American oil company made a big, huge mess in the Amazonas region? And if it was Ecuador, have they cleaned it up yet? I think it was Ecuador.
Yeah, we have a lot of petroleum. Yeah, we have a lot of that. We have that. I don't know like when, but yeah, we have a lot of conflict with. We want to protect that. I don't know what was like the resolution of what happened that, but yeah, we have a lot of affectation with that in the Amazonas. It was in Ecuador because of the petroleum. We're extracting petroleum. It was an American company, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, that's it. We have that. We have lost the judge, the international judge. I don't know why specifically, but yeah, that happened in Ecuador. Yeah.
Questions in Zoom? We give you an opportunity. You can unmute your mic.
No, I just see the hand from Don Juan Miguel up, so I think he wants to talk. But Mateo, qué honor, qué orgullo tu familia. Ya casi que lloro de la emoción de verlos a todos. Y a los hermanos ecuatorianos, un abrazo muy grande y qué orgullo de hijo. Los felicitamos.
Papá de Mateo, ¿quiere decir algo?
Sí, muchas gracias. Bueno, después Mateo o alguien que me ayude traduciendo. Agradezco a Dios esta oportunidad de compartir. Nosotros somos muy orgullosos de ser ecuatorianos, somos muy orgullosos que nuestro hijo esté allá, que Fresno State abrió sus puertas para que él pueda aportar a Fresno State y ayudar a, bueno, dar su grano de arena para que Fresno State también quede en alto y mejor delante de las universidades. Los queremos mucho y agradecemos de todo corazón todo lo que hacen ustedes por enseñar a nuestro hijo y estamos seguros de que Mateo tiene un gran compromiso con Fresno State para que ambos crezcan y sean grandes y aporte Mateo a Fresno State, a la sociedad donde está, que le acogió, que es Estados Unidos, a toda la comunidad estadounidense y que él pueda hacer luz en este mundo. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Really quick, just to translate a little bit of Mateo's father said he's very thankful with Fresno State for all the support that we're bringing, or Fresno State is bringing to Fresno State. He's very emotional that his son is able to study in the US and doing what he wants to do. So gracias, señor papá de Mateo. Muchas gracias a usted y a su familia por atender ahora aquí a acompañarnos desde Ecuador hasta Fresno. Muchas gracias y me da mucho gusto de que esté apoyando a Mateo. Any other questions or comments? Okay, so Mateo has a second part that he wants to share with us about teaching us a little bit of Spanish phrases. So go ahead and share your screen, Mateo. We have a few more minutes.
Sure.
So as you know, it's very useful to we have a big Spanish speaking community in Fresno. So probably hopefully some of these phrases will help you when you're with someone that knows Spanish or when you're in the store and you cannot communicate with other people. It's in the screen, sorry. Give us a, we lost them as it wasn't, we have to drag it. It's there. We just have to drag it. A second. Anyone that could help us how to drag? I know it's in the screen there, so hiding somewhere.
Yeah, we have technical difficulties right now. I don't know what happened.
Okay. So you want to say the phrases and then we'll repeat it.
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
do this one.
Well, I was about to share, the slides with phrases we have of Ecuador. It's not like the common Spanish because in Spanish speakers have a lot of dialects. Mexican Spanish is not the same as Ecuadorian Spanish. It's not the same as Spain Spanish. We have a lot of variations over there. So yeah, well, the first that's common, and I would like that you repeat after me. So when you say hi, you just say hola. So if you go like, when I say hi, you say hola. Okay, hola, yeah. Well, the next one, like goodbye or bye, we say ciao, like ciao. So when we say goodbye, we say
Ciao.
ciao. Okay, ciao. Well, we have an Ecuadorian phrase that is not the exact translation of this word from English to Spanish, but it's like the phrase we use. So when you go to, when you are inviting your friends to come to your house, or when you are in a coffee shop and you say your friend, come here, you say cae, like cae. So like, it's like the translation of come here. So yeah, cae para acá, like come here, cae, like come here. So yeah, so when we invite a friend, we say cae para acá. Okay, cae. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. We have the Zoom again.
Just keep.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to share. No, just a moment, please. Yeah, it's here. Has to be here. This has to be here. Okay.
So just say it fast.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Yeah, now we have like the phrase again. Okay. When you say like, when you are agree with your friends and you say, is that true? And you say, definitely, you say delay. So yeah, when you say definitely, you say delay. Yeah, delay, that will happen. Definitely that happened. Delay will happen, yeah. Delay. So yeah, when you are tired and you can't stand anymore, like, yeah, you just say ya no jalo. That's I'm tired. So when you are tired, you say ya no jalo. Okay. Okay, that's for your couples. If you have your couple there, you can tell this phrase. So when you say give me a kiss, you say dame un pico. So when you say what do you say when you request a kiss?
Dame un pico. Piquito.
Well, when something is easy, you say that something is fresco. That's it. The translation is fresh, but it's not the same. So yeah, when you are leaving an exam and you say the exam was easy, you say the exam was fresco. So you say fresco. Okay. Fresco. And when it's cold, you say achachai. So achachai, and when it's hot, you say ararai. These are phrases from the Andean culture there. So yeah, achachai, ararai. So yeah. And the last one, you say your friend pana. So all your friend is your pana. So yeah, I think that's it from the Spanish lesson. And to finish, I would like to make this quote of Alexander von Humboldt in Ecuador when he came someday. So Ecuadorians are strange and unique beings. They sleep peacefully surrounded by roaring volcanoes. They live poor among incomparable riches, and they become happy listening to sad music. And that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Great job.
Dios te bendiga, hijo.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I would like to present the certificate of appreciation to Mateo. So thank you, everyone that was able to come today. So if you could open your cameras to take a group picture. So, so if you could open your cameras to take a good picture. Make it more screens. Okay. There we go. Mateo, if you could stand up over here.
Sure. I have this flag.
Yeah, and Mateo has a flag that you want to post today with.
Those in the Zoom, please stay put because they will be taking picture of you on this big screen.
Yeah.
So we are not forgotten.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try my best to get all of you, so don't move.
Mateo, no se le ve.
Your dad is worried that you're not in the picture. All right.
Thank you for those coming from Ecuador.
Okay, thank you everyone. Papá de Mateo sí estaba presente en el cuarto. So, por eso lo movimos para que podamos agarrar las fotos de la pantalla y de Mateo enfrente. Después Mateo se los puede compartir, pero sí estaba en la foto. Okay, thank you everyone for coming today. I really appreciate. Don't forget to check out the Coffee Hour website. If you miss any other recordings, are available there for you, and hope to see you next Tuesday. Thank you everyone for your support and the support to Mateo today. Gracias a todos. Saludos. Thank you.
Gracias, adiós. Saludos desde Quito, Ecuador. Adiós. Bye, bye.
Adios. Adios.
Let me take a picture of you guys together with the flag since you're. Let me just.